So I have been having a lot of trouble sleeping lately, and one of my problems is I just lay in bed and my brain is going like a mile a minute. I'm just brainstorming and I just can't turn my brain off. And the other night, while trying to do just that, I'm laying there in bed and I just hear this sound in my head that surely most people hear when they're trying to sleep. And that's when I thought, oh my God, I want to put the Banjo-Kazooie dialogue system in my Twitch stream. Very weird, but Banjo-Kazooie is one of my favorite games of all time. I think it's a great fit, and the idea would be to just have, like, when someone gifts bits in my channel, the message attached to it would show up as dialogue with the noises and the stupid floating head and all of that stuff. I don't think Rare would appreciate Banjo or Kazooie or any of the other characters' likenesses being used alongside messages from Twitch chat. I know the internet. Besides that, all the animations and stuff, I think I can just do with pure CSS. But I am so bad at CSS. I am not good when it comes to styling things. I am a klutz, but I think it should be possible. So let's go ahead and get an overlay created and see what we come up with. Okay, so I am here on Stream Elements. I created a brand new custom widget, cleaned up the template a little bit. I don't have bits working, but I just wanted to get like a general look established. So I pretty much just have the dialogue container, the head, and then the text. And I just made the general shape. I faded it out and added some blur to make it look extra shitty, to try and emulate that kind of N64 feel. And I'm just using Banjo's head as like a placeholder. First, I need to figure out how to get the font from Banjo-Kazooie, the dialogue font. And I need to figure out a way to get the text to animate as if it were dialogue letter by letter. Okay, so before I show you, I actually have the intro animation working. I am waiting to do the outro animation because that one is going to be a bit more difficult because bit messages can vary in length. So I'm not going to know how long the message is going to be. It could potentially be multiple dialogue pages long. So we're going to have to programmatically figure out when to fire that outro animation and have everything slide off the screen. But for now, we have the intro one. I did actually find the font for the Banjo-Kazooie dialogue, but I had no idea how to put a custom font into a Stream Elements widget. I was trying everything, and I ended up just messaging Stream Elements rep who told me if I just install it on my computer, I can use it in Stream Elements. So I felt pretty dumb, but it's working. So let me show you what we have here. Ignore this. This is just like template placeholder data. So here we go. Okay, see? That's like almost flawless. I keep doing this. I stayed up all night, laying awake in bed, thinking. And it seems like this project has now doubled in scope. This is just going to be a quick, short little overlay, but I realized after people use this once or twice, the gimmick will kind of wear off. So I thought, what if I set a threshold where if a certain number of bits are gifted per stream, the character, which for now is just going to be my pirate in Sea of Thieves, will change to a different character, eventually leveling up enough to where it's just my real life face. And then people... We're changing plans again. We've redone the scope of the thing. So I was having a conversation with my brother about the idea of having it level up over time, and as cool as that is, and while that would probably generate more revenue, I feel like hype train-esque mechanics do get very old after a while. So I think what I'm actually going to do now is let the viewers pick which character is speaking based on the range of bits. So maybe like 10k bits would be my actual face. I think that is a much cooler and engaging way to do it, to let people choose their character. And we could even do the cheer mote system. Also, for all of the features I do on my stream, I give special perks to my tier 2 and tier 3 subscribers. And I have no idea what I'm going to do for this one. Maybe like colored text. There was nothing on that paper. I just wanted to crumple up a paper and throw it. So I think I have the outro animation done. I basically just took the interval for the dialogue animation, basically how long it takes for each letter to show up, multiply that by how many letters are in the total message, which will give me a rough time of how long it's going to take to read the whole thing out. I delay the outro animation by that much, and we have... Wait for it. Fuck. Okay, so maybe I forgot to clear the dialogue message before animating, and there we go. Much better. Okay, so we're kind of like blazing through it at this point. I luckily found a YouTube video with all the dialogue noises I needed to just do a quick proof of concept. I ripped out that audio, I posted it in my Discord channel. That way I have a link to it that I can reference in my code. And here's what we got. Pretty good. It might need a little bit of tweaking, but it's looking good so far. I have the bit functionality connected. So I just have an event listener. I'm checking to see if the listener is cheer latest, and then I'm just ripping the message off of that. But one problem I had to solve, which I've actually done in some of my other alerts, is you have to account for multiple events happening all at once. So if people gift bits all at the same time, the alert's going to break. It's going to keep triggering all on top of itself. So I implemented an alert queue. So each time an alert is added, it is added to the queue. If there are multiple in the queue, it does one, and then it starts the next one, and so on. So we have that implemented. I'm going to emulate some cheers. I'm just clicking, right? I'm just essentially spam clicking alerts. So it goes through them pretty fast, but I did add a bit of a buffer. And yeah, there's my problem though. I need to add pagination, pages. I need to make it scroll through any text that is longer than the bubble. I love it. I love seeing a project come together. So I finally got the page scrolling working. Another quick note, I did have to account for if you don't have a message with your bits. So I just put a message that just says like, thanks for the bits if you don't do that. But anyway, scrolling pages was kind of a pain to figure out. It took me a couple nights of just banging my head against the CSS to figure this out. So I'm using CSS animations. And one of the things I realized first was that boring, time for a cat break. If it's only a single line of text, it needs to appear in the middle of the bubble. Like so. However, if it's a lot of text, it needs to start at the top of the bubble and then go in 2 rows. So I got that working, and then I had to meticulously organize CSS animations to be timed perfectly to scroll the text up. This is like done. I'm honestly just waiting on assets from my 3D modeler to get the different faces made, and then we can implement the choosing of characters. My 3D modeler just sent me some of the new characters. So right now I have it set to where 100 bits is the sword. And warning, I haven't finalized the voice noise, the Banjo-Kazooie gibberish. I'm gonna change the one for the sword. It's a bit loud, so apologies. But the sword looks great. It's got the handle is a little moving mouth, and we've got the big eyeballs. It absolutely killed it. Love it. And then I have at 1000 my boat from Sea of Thieves with some big googly eyes. This one I'm probably gonna change the noise as well. Fantastic, right? Such a good job. Now we need to get the pirate from Sea of Thieves, my character, in here, as well as my actual face. So this is probably my second time ever actually using After Effects in any, major capacity. And it was a bit of a learning experience. So I basically just Googled how to cut a face out of video, which led me to something called rotoscoping, which I've heard that term before and knew a little bit about, but using it was actually kind of a pain. So essentially what that is in After Effects, you can use the roto brush tool and you pretty much just draw the outline of what you want to capture, and it'll automatically track that outline throughout the video. But it's not as precise as you'd want it to be. So as you can see here, it outlined a little bit of the stuff I don't want. I don't want the ponytail. I don't want the collar. I don't want any of my character's chest showing. I can scrap that out. And there we go. So from there, you can just go to the next frame and then check, make sure everything's okay. Next frame, and it'll track as you go. Or you can just hit spacebar and it'll do it itself, as you can see. But one of the problems was I was trying to get this perfect. I was being way too much of a perfectionist, going frame by frame, like okay, there's a little bit of white space there. Let me get rid of that, and that was never going to work. There's like 800 something frames in this, and so that was completely unrealistic. So I just let the whole thing run, but it kept stopping like halfway through and just refused to go any further. And I had to do a bunch of Googling and all this other stuff. Pretty much just had to update After Effects to After Effects 2022. And the result is a floating head of my pirate from Sea of Thieves. One thing I did change is in the roto brush settings, you can constrict the edge. So I basically took the edge, that outline, and pulled it in a couple pixels, which essentially got rid of all those extra little white space, part of the background stuff I was worried about. So it actually turned out all right. But one problem that you might be able to notice is the breathing. It is bouncing quite a lot, and that's not going to look good on the alert. So I went ahead and applied some stabilization using a tool called Track Motion, where you pick a pixel in After Effects and the program will track that pixel throughout the whole video and then stabilize it, which results in less jitter. So there's still a little bit of up and down, but it is way more stable. Now, after converting that video to a WebM file type, which for me is the best way to preserve transparency in a video, but keep the file size small enough that you can easily host it. And I'm using Discord for that, which is just very cheap and easy. And this is what it looks like. I currently have it set to 5,000 bits. So it looks so good. And the pirate voice from Banjo-Kazooie is probably the most ridiculous, but people are going to have an absolute field day with this one. It is just so fun. This is so goddamn weird. I'm trying to record the face animation for my actual face, but I can't move my head or do any sort of bobble because I don't want to have to stabilize anything. So I'm just looking like a fucking crazy robot person. I've gone through the whole process of recording and cutting out my face and putting it into the alert, and boy, it was way more complicated than I thought, because you can't just sit there like a robot, right? You have to be expressive, but you also have to start and end at the same exact head position, your eyebrows, your mouth, everything has to be the same so it looks like a good loop. It took so many takes. And also, what do I say? What do I do with my mouth? I thought I could just sit there and just do that nonsense, but that looks weird. So I sat there just saying random phrases over and over. There. Peas and carrots, carrots and peas. Is that it? Is that what people say? Like extras in movies? But I got it done. So here's what it looks like. And if for some reason that sounds like a Minecraft villager, I didn't realize until later that I'm pretty sure that's what I was subconsciously channeling when I recorded that audio. And since that was, oh, hello. we have a visitor. Since that was recorded, I actually did some tests live on stream, and they went fantastic. What's up, everyone? I've only been testing this on Stream Elements, so. It's so good. Now, I did learn a lot from that test. A couple things is that, like, the cheer mote text, so like cheer 100, cheer 1000, is in the message itself. So I had to basically cleanse each message of all of that, which I did. And also, people intentionally broke it by just spamming one letter with 0 spaces. So I need to make sure to do word wrap. Gibbed. You fucking broke it, Gibbed, you dick. No. But we tweaked it and it's looking great. So no matter how much I pushed it off, I did have to come up with bonuses for my tier 2 and tier 3 subs, and they're choosing to give extra support to my channel. So I want them to have something really cool, and colored text just isn't it. So the main feature of this channel is the characters. So I figured, screw it. 1 unique character for tier 2 and 1 unique character for tier 3. But I don't want them to be locked into that. I want them to be able to use the normal characters, but if for a specific message they want to use the special one, they can activate it. So if they include the phrase /T2 or /T3 somewhere in the message, it'll activate that special character. So here's the characters I came up with. So tier 2, you can see I just put /T2. This can be anywhere in the message, and I got my modeler to make a cup of coffee, which is a very important part of my stream, is my coffee. So that is fantastic. I love it. And here is what my tier 3 special character looks like. Do you recognize that person? This beautiful person right here? Oh, I think she approves. Do you approve, Chloe? I think that's a resounding yes. This was really hard to cut out, by the way. She's completely orange. I had to tease her with turkey. I think the alert is finished. I think we're done. This just started as a silly idea I had one night and has honestly kind of blossomed into what might be my favorite feature on my entire channel. It has totally exceeded my expectations. My community loves it. They've been using it in ways I never could have anticipated, like making characters argue or role-playing with bits, and I'm sitting here like a goddamn crazy person having full-on conversations with inanimate objects. They're pretending like it's Clippy from Microsoft Word, which I didn't see coming. Sword. Like you're trying to murder. Would you like to? No, sword, unsubscribe. Unbridled destruction. What's happening? It's been a while since we've talked. Boat, we have a lot to talk about, all right? How have they not sunk this sloop? It is wild. You only have a flimsy shiv? Click here to increase your blade length by up to 30 centimeters. No. Bad sword. No. If you want to check this out live, I stream every weekday and most weekends at twitch.tv/blurbs. Come by and say what's up. Also, I will be putting all of my future projects and devlogs on this channel, so make sure you're subscribed because I have some insanely cool stuff in the works that I am so excited to show you guys. I'm so giddy, and I think it will blow your minds, so stay tuned. But finally, at the end of the day, I hope this inspires you to go try and make some cool stuff for your own channel. Even if it doesn't pan out the way you're hoping, your viewers will appreciate you putting in the time to up your production value. So get out there and go make some cool shit.